Today we're actually going to discuss another requirement of your student visa application for France, and that is the proof of funds. My name is Gaurav and I'm a business school professor at quite a few business schools in France, and I've been very fortunate to live in France since the year 2014. Today's video is also part of a series which I'm currently working on for all of you, which I would like to call it as the Pre-Departure 2020 series. And the goal of the series is very simple. It is to provide you with a lot of information which will save you a lot of time, money and stress throughout your whole study in France experience. See, according to Campus France, graduate students or undergraduate students are required to show proof of 1 full year of funding. Therefore, you're required to show proof of 1 full year of tuition fees plus living costs, which is set at 615 euros per month for 1 full year. What is the idea behind this? Well, the idea is very simple. It is basically for the government to see, or the consulate or the visa processing authorities of France to find out or to understand if you have enough resources to fund your studies and actually fund your living costs and stay in France. By the rule of thumb, the more you show, the better it is for your visa application process. So how much do you need to show? Basically, as they have mentioned already, you need to show at least a minimum of 615 euros per month into 12 months. That actually comes down to 7,380 euros. Now, if you convert 7,380 euros into rupees, it would come up to 6,32,830 rupees. So what are the documents which you can actually submit as a proof of funds? First, I would actually recommend submitting your proof of payment of your admission fees. Apart from that, if you're actually funding yourself, you would actually have to provide your bank statements and your fixed deposits or any encashable assets that will support your stay and education in France. If it's your parents or you actually have someone else who's sponsoring your education, they will also actually have to provide their bank statements, IT returns, any fixed deposits or any encashable assets that are in their name, which will technically support your education and stay in France. The rule of thumb is basically the same. The more you show, the better it is. Now, whose documents will you technically show? First, if you're actually funding your stay, you will actually have to show your bank statements, your FDs. If you've been working the last few months or last few years, at least a minimum of 2 years of IT returns. If it's your parents or there is someone else who's actually sponsoring your studies, they will actually have to provide their bank statements, their FDs or their IT returns of the last 2 years, and they will actually have to provide an affidavit which is attested by a notary. If you're actually getting a loan or a scholarship, then you'll actually have to submit documents which basically state or which is actually a proof that you're getting a loan or a scholarship or a grant. Let's do one thing. Let us see together what are the documents which are required in detail. Alright, what are the acceptable financial documents that you can actually submit as a part of your visa application for France? First, for tuition fees, proof that either partial or full fee has been transferred to the institute in France. So you can show them a proof of payment. I think you'll get a receipt from your bank, and you'll also get a receipt, I think, from your school that you have either paid your fees in partial, in installments, or even in full. Second, for living expenses, a letter from your parents or sponsors signed in original stating that they are willing to bear expenses on your education, and to cross-check this signature, a photocopy of their official signature on a document like PAN card, passbook, driving license, or even a passport. You need to show IT income tax returns of your sponsors for the past 2 years. This is to show the family's sustainable income. Fourth, in case your parents run a business, then you need to show the company sponsorship, and you need to show a registration certificate of company ownership, balance sheet of the previous year, and a 4-month-old till date transactions from the company account. Fifth, you can also show a savings account, that is bank statements for the last 3 months. 6, you can show investments that are encashable like fixed deposits. 7, you can show a complete or a partial bank loan. So in case you're showing that, you can show a loan sanction letter clearly mentioning the name of the course that you're applying for and the name of the institute in France. You can also show a statement in or with the sanction letter stating that the funds will be transferred to the institute or to the applicant as stipulated by the institute/applicant in a phased manner. Finally, shares and property valuations are not considered as liquidity. You may take an education loan against the property, which is admissible for proof of financial resources. This document will be available for download in the description below. While you're going to actually download it, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button if you actually feel this information causes less confusion and will definitely help you out. The next one, we're actually going to see the financial documents again in more detail. I think this was a document which I received when I was actually studying in France. But interestingly, when I first went to study in France, the minimum amount we actually had to show was 420 euros, and now it's moved up to 615 euros. So mostly the standard query is, how should we show financial solvability for visa purposes? So basically what they're saying is, the most asked question is, what are the documents we can show for our visa processes as proof of funds? To assist you all in preparing your financial documents, please read through the following carefully. First, basically the beginning, you need to start preparing these documents once your admission is confirmed. You must show as liquid assets a sum total of the amount which is tuition fees plus living expenses. So that is tuition fees, whatever you have to pay in the future, plus the living expenses, which is 615 euros into 12 months, which comes up to 7,380 euros. Second, living expense amount is calculated as per the embassy website at 615 euros. I'm not sure if it's changed for this year, but when I researched it, it still showed 615 euros into. So basically 615 euros into the number of months of stay, which comes up to 6,32,830 rupees approximately as of today, which is the 26th of September 2020. Third, tuition fees are generally to be paid in installments, so the amount and the periodicity of payment varies from institute to institute. So you need to actually show them, what you've paid and what if you have funds which you can cover for the rest of the installments or pay the rest of the installments. Fourth, among the documents of financial proof, you need to provide an affidavit of support on a stamp paper attested by a notary. The sponsorship may be from a father, mother, both relatives. So if you are being funded by your parents, so you need to provide an affidavit of support on a stamp paper attested by a notary. I'm not sure if that is still a requirement, but I still think it's a very good thing to provide because it just strengthens your proof of funds. This is what I did. This statement may be worded as follows. So you need to actually get this from your parents. So your parents need to fill this out. They need to sign it. Then you actually need to get it notarized or attested and by a notary. The words may concern. So this template you can actually see if you can use if you're being supported by your parents or being sponsored by your parents and they need to sign it. So you can create this template. I will show you a detailed template right here, which you can again download. Just to read through it, to whomsoever it may concern, I, Mr. XYZ, name of sponsor XYZ. So basically, I, Mr. So the name of the sponsor comes here. Pledge to bear the financial responsibility to the tune of rupees, how much ever your parents is. So basically around 6 lakhs, 32, show around 7 lakhs to be safe. Write in numericals so that you do not use the word lakhs. Towards Mr. and Mrs., basically your name, the student's name, higher education in France. Sounds very confusing, but I'm pretty sure you can see it here. This is basically the letter, the content of the letter or the sponsorship letter or the letter of guarantor, which will be signed by your parents and need to be attested by the notary. Now, you will also need a letterhead of the bank attested by the bank manager and stamped by the bank, a statement which goes like this. So basically, if you're showing your bank statements, normally you would have to show the 3 months bank statements, but also get this letter from the bank manager and also get both of them attested by the bank manager. So the stamp and attested by the bank manager and stamped by the bank. So just to avoid confusions, if you're getting basically a account, saving accounts details of your saving account or your whichever account you have for the last 3 months, make sure it is attested by the bank manager and stamped. And the same, ask him to provide a letter which says, to whomsoever it may concern, Mr. the sponsor's name here has assets worth, how much ever as deposits and investments in this bank. He's been a client with us since whatever the date. Proof of these assets is enclosed as attested photocopies, signature of the bank manager and stamp of the bank. I've had to provide both because I was sponsored by my parents, and because I needed to show my parents' documents, I needed this from the bank and it was stamped. So basically the statements or the bank statements and this letter was stamped and attested by the bank manager. In support of this attestation, you will need things like Provident Fund statement, photocopy attested by the bank, FPs, LIC policies, surrender value certificate, mutual fund investment. I don't know what all these are. I never had to submit it, but if you need to submit it, please do submit it. And the third thing is current and saving bank account statements attested by the bank. Now, if you have an overseas sponsor, then please provide a sponsorship letter, amount that he or she pledges for your education, proof of identity, address, the pay slip, and the last 3 IT returns. Now, in Dubai, I know that we don't have IT returns, so basically until here, like you can just provide your bank statements, which are attested by the bank, and the sponsorship letter by your parents or whoever was sponsoring you if it's from Dubai. But abroad, I guess Dubai doesn't have taxes, so basically you can't submit IT returns. In support of your financial solvability, some students show immovable assets such as property deeds for very old ancestral property. This just makes the financial statement heavy, but strictly speaking, the amount to be shown is only in transferable liquid money and movable assets. The better option is to avail of a bank loan with such property as collateral. So you can't provide property deeds. What you need to show is strictly transferable liquid money and movable assets. In case you want to show ancestral property, the better option is to avail a bank loan with such property as collateral. Next, bank loan certification on the letterhead of the bank or the issuing authority for those who are taking a loan. Yeah, okay, to obtain a bank loan, contact SBI. I don't know. I've heard of, forget the name, but anyways, this is for basically people who are taking a loan. This is Northern Indian. Okay, basically it's not, I don't know, if you're taking a loan, basically you need to show a bank loan certification on the letterhead of the bank or the issuing authority. If you're getting a scholarship, then provide scholarship letter if any. Now please make a covering letter as follows for these proofs. Financial documents enclosed, page. Okay, so you need to show when you're submitting your proof of documents file, first you will write a letter which is like the index. So basically this is the index which you need to write. So financial documents enclosed, page number, scholarship certification 1, bank loan certification 2, net assets 3, PF statement 4, FDs 5, and cost of education in France, tuition plus living expenses in France, and that should equal to how much money, like total movable assets. So basically there should be the index. The first paper should be an index of all the documents which follows and number it accordingly. Sign at the bottom of the page of your covering letter, and then after that accordingly enclose whatever the documents you need to submit as part of your proof of funds. Important, do not write in lakh terms. Please use the full digit notation. It's very simple. Again, this document is down below, available for you for download. For those of you who actually need a sponsorship or for those of you who actually need a sponsorship, letter of sponsorship, and don't know the format, this is the format I used. So I'm pretty sure you can also use this particular format. This also has to be attested by the notary. It's better if it is attested by the notary. I don't remember getting it attested before, but it's much better if you can get it. So, to the Consul General of France, affidavit of support. I, Mr. your parents' name, residing wherever they are, do hereby state on solemn affirmation and make this affidavit on oath as under. We sponsor your name and undertake to beat all his traveling, or to support, I guess. Sorry, I'll change that. Support all his traveling to and from France, accommodation and general living expenses throughout the education in France to the extent of rupees, whatever the amount you're pledging. We have the financial stability and resources to meet our sponsorship commitments pertaining to the same. The total funds of rupees, approximately 7 lakhs, you need to show, is actually available to meet all related expenses of our son or daughter, whatever the name is. We can mention on our funds as below. So mention whatever documents and the amount it shows down below. We make the solemn declaration believing the same to be true, verified and signed by your parents whose documents you're providing. Very simple. This also is available down below in case you need it. Hit the link and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Finally, one of the other things I needed to show, I don't know if it is still needed, but still going to make it just in case, is an expenses statement. So I needed to write my surname, my name, what is my Campus France number, my age, my marital status, what is the visa I'm applying for, purpose of the visa I'm applying for, what is the duration of the program. here I write what are the required funds. So I need to pay my tuition fees, how much I've already paid. So basically, if you've already paid first that, and what is remaining to be paid, if you have any scholarship, others, convert it in rupees and put it down below. Living expenses, that is 615 into 12 months, which comes up to 7,380 euros. How much you've paid in accommodation, how much you paid for an accommodation, write all of that and then just calculate it. Finally, 615 euros is okay. At least 615 euros per month, around 45,000 rupees. Okay, is required for 300 euros per month in case of free accommodation. All right. Not too sure, but you can read it again if you need it. I don't know if it's still needed, but if you need it, you can download it again once again down below. Here, what are the available funds? Okay, this is your cost, all the costs which you have. Wait, what is this? Okay, all the costs, and this is all the funds. So basically, student, how much funds, sponsor 1, how much they're providing, sponsor 2, how much they're providing, loan, how much you're taking, what is the total balance, and the balance is this minus this. So basically, how much funds you will still have remaining after your expenses in France. Now that we have actually reviewed all these documents, I'm pretty sure there will not be any scope of confusion, and this will definitely help you navigate this particular part of the visa application process much better. Now, before I actually end this video, I would actually like to address that one question which has been asked to me multiple times over the last few years, and that is, do you actually require a blocked account in France? The answer is no, you actually don't require it. I think this question comes from the fact that you have seen videos about studying in Germany and it's a requirement in Germany, but fortunately, France does not actually require it. That is the end of the video. If you like today's video, hit the like button. If you have not been subscribed to my channel, I recommend you to subscribe to this channel. If you have any questions about this particular part of the visa application or today's video, feel free to comment it down below. And don't hesitate to follow me on Instagram at The Lost Indian. Don't forget to join my Facebook group, which is called Study in France by the Indian Student Network. That's it for today. I shall see you tomorrow. Peace.